Welcome back to the next video. In the last video we discussed the for loop, and we said that we do our imaginary number I, we initialize it here to 1, and if it's less than 10 or 100, if you want to include 100, we have to put this equal sign here, and we increment it here, and then we print it. As we said in the last video, that in this video we're gonna create a calculator with the for loop. So sorry, we create a multiplication table, table with for loop. As you guys are aware that the for loop goes into circle. It's a loop. It goes into loop. It's like wheel, and like any process that we go around and round and round, so in a circle. So that's called iteration in programming. And with the iteration, you go around and round till so this for loop starts from 1, and then it goes around and round in circle. It comes back and then go till it reaches 100, and then when it gets to 100 to 110, it gets this mark and it stops. And this bit is just for increment or decrement, so it's 1 2 3 4 5. All right, so how do we create the calculator? With the calculator, sorry, I repeat again, with the multiplication table. I'm not sure why I'm keep saying calculator, because I made another application with the calculator today. All right, so there we go. We start with our C out, with as usual with the C out, and we're gonna print multiplication table. Alright, so we create our multiplication table. So we created nice header here, so we know that we are not doing calculator, because I was just before doing another thing with another programming with C when I was creating a calculator. Alright, so we end our line here. If you don't put it in this end line, it keeps on going in one straight line, and we don't want that. So we want that in one line. So alright, so you guys can create like this, or you guys can create a nice layout. And now we check that how our program looks. Okay, so it's if we remove this handle, it goes in one straight line. See, that's what I was talking about. If we create this, so because it's not ending the line goes all the way here, but if when it gets to the end line, it goes to the next line. But in our case now we remove the end line, that's how it goes in straight line. Alright, that's because I just wanted to check the top. Alright, so now we've got a for loop. Our for loop is ready. So what we do is that we get the out again, and we're gonna ask the user to please enter your number, or enter a number to multiply. All right, so we're asking we just letting the user know that to ask his or her number, so for our program to multiply. So we do our end line and we're gonna get the data from the user, and we're gonna call that data X. So what I'll do is that I'll put an int X and I. And when we declare our data type here, int X and I, because this is I is this one, we remove the I from here, from the int here data type, because we don't need it, because we already declared it here. As long as we declare the our naming here, the name, whatever the name, count, anything you declare it here, that's fine. If you don't declare it, then you have to declare it in for loop. So but you must declare it somewhere, declare the data type. Okay, so our I is here and our X is here, so we want to get the data from the user for for X. Alright, so once we get the data from the user for X, then we're gonna loop that one with the I, because our I is equal to 1 and I is less than, we make it till 10 because we don't want to our multiplication table go for around 100. We don't want that. Alright, so we leave the I here, and the first value we're gonna use this X, and what we're gonna print in a literal string is X here, and then we go another, we chain it, and then we print our I. We're gonna loop our I, then we go like that, and then we put the equal sign, and at the last bit, which is the engine of this our program, we're gonna multiply X, and then we put this star I. So this is gonna multiply this, and they'll, okay, so I'll explain again. We have declared our data type int xi, because as before we put our int here, but now we move our int here, int I. That's our header. That's, we want our program to look nice, and we are asking the user to please enter any number to multiply, and we get that number from the user, and whatever the number user put it, and then we're going to loop it, and our loop starts with I. We initialize it with 1, and we go till 10, and we increment. The first part is showing this one from the user. The second part is literal string, which we want to display on the screen, that is multiplication, but it's actually a literal string. The last part is this loop. Sorry, the second last part is loop, and this bit is the literal string, is just a character inside, and this the last part, which is gonna multiply this table, this our alright. So it's asking multiplication table, please enter number to multiply. Say we put a 2, as we said, the first part is a 2 is not changing because this data is not changing. That's a literal string which is here. This part is the loop part. So this is the loop. It goes in all the way till 10. It goes in a loop. It goes here, the first one, then it comes back, then it goes there, then second one, then it goes back, and checking. Every time it checks, it can't find the 10. Finally, when it gets to 10, it stops because we put a stop, terminate here. And the last part is this multiplication, which multiplication happens, because people might think that this is multiplying this one, which is true, it's multiplying, but the last bit is only multiplying. So you guys can put even 20 here. So if you put a 20, it's going to loop till 20, and it's going to multiply because the multiplication happens here, it multiplies there. Alright, so if you put a 33, and as you guys can see that 3 by 60 is, I'm gonna make it again bigger, 3 by 20 is 60. So that's what happens. Alright, so that's how multiplication happens. But if you guys want to put a range, say you guys want the user to put a first value and the second value, because now our first value and the second value is fixed, you guys can do that as well with the for loop. Alright, so how do we do that? So we go there and we put, instead of I, we put a Y. So we put a Y, that's fine. Okay, now we want to put a range. I'll show you guys in a moment. Alright, so we come here down, the first number to multiply, enter first number to multiply. So that's our first number, and that's X, and our second number is Y. A second number to multiply, second number. Alright, so now we're getting the first value and the second value from the user. Alright, so that's X and Y. So that's our, we got the X and we got the Y. So once we got the Y, we put a Y here, and his Y is less than 20 and Y plus plus. We leave the X here and we change the Y here. Alright, so we leave the X and we leave the Y. Alright, so now we leave here 1 and we see how our program looks, because it's gonna loop from 1. Doesn't matter what you guys put the value. Alright, so if you put a 2 and the first one 3, it's not gonna stop from 3, it's gonna stop from 1. Start from 1. Why? Because we initialize it to 1. But if you guys want to initialize it from 3, you guys just change this 1 to Y. So X, sorry, put a Z. Alright, so now I hope you guys got the idea of this initialization. Now the program is the same program, but our program runs not with our set of values that we already put it here. The programmer, it goes by the user. It doesn't matter what user put it in the second one. We initialize it from the user, what the user put it. User value, because we're getting the value from the user given value. So if the user put a 10, we initialize it from 10. So if the user put a 20, we initialize it from 20. Alright, so we say the first value is 5 and the second value is also 5. So as you guys notice, I'll put it here. That's our first value, X, and that's our second value, Y. And that's how we get it, 5, 5, 25, all the way here. Now the user has initialized it. The user gave us the value and we initialize that value, not our own. Like we used to do 1, and from 1 we used to go ahead out. You guys can put a 0 here, you guys can put a 1, any number as long as it initializes it. So now the user gives us any, say the user is 10, the first value, and the user gonna give us another 10. Our program is going to initialize from the user given value, not our own. So that's how, because the second one is 10, that's how our program is going to initialize this. So I hope you guys like this video, this multiplication, not a calculator, because I'm going to show you guys in future videos how to make a calculator as well, but not now. It's a little bit complicated. So that's how we make multiplication table with just a for loop, and the for loop is very like it's fun to work with any program you guys making, with the PHP, with the C#, with the Java, with any program, and with the PHP, especially with the PHP, if you guys working with the user data, or if you guys want to display the shopping list or something, that's how for it, you guys use a for and for each loop, and that's how we do this. So I hope you guys liked this video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.